guys, I am running late and on my way out to our, I guess it would be our 20-week appointment. I'm 20 weeks today, or 20 weeks yesterday. So I'm on my way to go pick up Chris from work now, and then we're gonna be headed out to the appointment. I'm gonna try not to take my remote control with me though. Back from the appointment now. It's been a couple hours actually since we've been back. Chris is already back at work and I'm back home. We did not get super good pictures of her today because she's a very stubborn baby and she like smushes her face down and like faces it towards like my back and my hip, so it was like really hard to get a picture of her face, but they were able to give us a picture of her giving us a thumbs up. So I thought that was pretty cute. That's her little hand and a little thumb. And then some more pictures letting us know that she's a girl, and she is definitely still a girl. So without really like, I don't want to dive into it super right now because it would just end up being a really long clip. And it might end up being just a really long clip of me talking about this, and this might be the vlog for today. So today at the appointment, I also talked to my doctor about my anxiety coming back pretty bad and possibly some, I guess, I don't know, it's so hard for me to just admit it out loud and like say it and put it out there because I don't feel like this all the time, but depression too. That's kind of been trickling in over the last, I guess, month. I would say probably over the last month. So it hasn't been frequent throughout the entire pregnancy. It just kind of started coming in within the last few weeks, and it's been pretty difficult to manage. It's part of the reason why vlogging really hasn't been a priority of mine, because when I'm not really feeling my best, I don't feel like I put out the best content, and I don't like even today I wanted to vlog solely because we had a doctor's appointment, but you can see it in my tone and in my voice and all that kind of stuff. I'm just kind of down. Like, that's just the best way to describe it. And I feel like my anxiety is what's causing my depression, because like I said, I did talk to my doctor about it today because it's something that I needed to talk to him about. I've talked to a couple of my friends about it because I've just been feeling really guilty for feeling bad and not enjoying this part of the pregnancy. It's such a vicious cycle. Like, anxiety and depression is such a vicious cycle. And for me, it's really hard to admit that I have that as a problem, like as a issue, because I don't know, there's a stigma about it. There's a stigma against mental illness, and the fact that I'm pregnant, I feel like it's even more of a like, oh well, if you have anxiety and depression, like, what are you doing having a kid? Like, at least that's what it makes me feel like. It makes me feel like I'm failing as a mom already, and I'm not even like parenting her yet. But it's not the case all the time. I don't always feel that way. And like I said, this is why I talked to my doctor about it today, because obviously it's not normal to feel this way when it should be a really joyous time and a really exciting time and all that good stuff. So, but like I said, that's kind of where like the guilt plays in, because you're like, man, I've waited for this for so long, to be pregnant, to have a baby, to have gone through a miscarriage, to get pregnant again so quickly, and have a very terrifying first trimester, because, you know, I mean, I was terrified for the first 13-14 weeks of this pregnancy because of having a miscarriage before, and making it to the second trimester to now having this completely different ailment that's not necessarily physical, so I'm not throwing up or having headache. Well, I am having headaches and I am still throwing up, and I am still having a lot of physical pregnancy symptoms, but I'm also getting mental and they're not pregnancy symptoms, just mental hormonal issues, because being pregnant makes you have crazy hormones, and your hormones make your brain and the chemicals in your brain just act all kinds of crazy. And I kind of sort of like, in the back of my mind, I said to myself before I got pregnant, I was like, okay, you've dealt with anxiety before, and it's been a big problem in my life before, so don't assume that I'm completely and totally out of the woodworks just because I had it under control before I got pregnant, because I knew that the hormones and everything else was gonna probably trigger it, but it didn't trigger it until the second trimester. So it was just kind of like a big whirlwind of blah. And for anybody that deals with anxiety on a daily basis, anxiety is more than just butterflies in your stomach. It's more than just worrying a lot. It's more than just overthinking. Like, anxiety is irritability. Anxiety is mood swings. Anxiety is, I don't know, overthinking, but overthinking the littlest things. The way to describe how it works for me is, and this is like the way that I try to describe it to people because it makes more sense to them when I explain it this way, but it's basically like, I automatically go to the worst case scenario for every possible situation versus thinking, oh, well, maybe they're just a little late because they're stuck in traffic. No, I think they're late because they got held up by gunpoint by a burglar that stopped their car and jacked in, and they're on the road like dying, bleeding out. Like, that's how my mind thinks. That's how my brain automatically goes to, and it's very, very, very hard to deal with. So stupid. It's literally the stupidest thing ever. But that's another part of my anxiety. So it automatically triggers me to think of the worst possible scenarios, and it doesn't allow me to relax. And I think that's where, in the last couple of weeks, I've kind of just started spiraling, and the anxiety has caused the depression because I feel like I'm not enjoying myself, and I take it out on people around me, and that's not right. And I just I have a lot of thoughts going through my brain. I have a lot of hormones going through my body, and I am just trying to learn how to cope with it the best that I can without feeling like a terrible person for feeling terrible sometimes. Like, and it's so dumb. Like, it's literally the dumbest thing, because like my doctor explained to me today, he's like, 90% of the time, people that have anxiety and depression are anxious or depressed because of their anxiety and their depression. And that's exactly what it is for me. It's just like, it's a constant vicious cycle. I don't really necessarily have any specific thing that's making me anxious or depressed or unsure of things. It's just, it's there. And then he also described to me, because I told him, I was like, well, I feel guilty. Like, why should I have to take medicine for a mental issue? Like, why can't I just be happy? Like, why can't my brain just work like a normal person? And again, smart guy. I love my doctor. I love my doctor so much. But he basically was like, well, if I told you right now that you have high blood pressure and gestational diabetes, and that you needed to be put on medication for high blood pressure and diabetes, are you gonna, say, oh man, I wish my body would just work the right way, and I don't want to take this medicine? No, you're not. You're gonna take the medicine to help you deal with that problem. And that's how he explained it to me. He's like, you don't need to feel bad for having to take any other additional kind of medicine to balance something out, to make it okay and to make it easier to get through certain parts of life. Obviously, I would prefer to not have to take any kind of medication to offset it, but I also don't want to not try it to make sure that it's something that could benefit me in the future, because I don't want to come out of giving birth dealing with postpartum depression even worse than I have now because I didn't treat it early enough. And my doctor is very, 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 very much like, he'll never give me anything or give his patients anything that he doesn't believe is 100% safe for me and the baby. And because of how far along I am now, the baby has already developed all of its major organs and everything that is see, and it gets me upset. It gets, like I said, the guilt starts hitting it because I don't want to take a medicine that may harm the baby. But he like I said, he's convinced me, and he's reassured me that that's not going to happen, that it's okay, and it's better to fix myself than it is to keep feeling this way, because feeling this way is worse for the baby than making myself feel a little better. These vlogs and these clips where I get really raw and emotional are very rare, not only for YouTube, but for me in general. For people, a lot of people don't see me like this. Like, my mom might watch this and be like, oh my gosh, Christina, I didn't know you were feeling like that. My dad will probably watch this and probably think the same thing. Maybe a couple friends might be like, wow, why didn't you tell me, you know, you were feeling so down or feeling this way, like, let me reach out. And that's another part of my anxiety, is I don't want to, I don't know how to explain it. I don't want to, everybody has problems. Everybody has issues in their life that they're dealing with right this very second. And I'm the type of person that doesn't want to, like, bombard other people with my problems. So I'd rather just keep it to myself and record it on camera when nobody else is around. Put it on YouTube, and if people happen to watch and want to reach out for support, I will gladly take it. But I'll never, I don't know, I don't ever want to be a burden to anybody to ask for help. So this is kind of like my therapy. This is my way of just getting it out there, talking about it, putting it out there, so that I'm not hiding it and keeping it to myself without actually directly talking to anybody face to face. That's because it's more comfortable for me that way. I don't know. Anybody else that has dealt with this specific issue during pregnancy that can shed some light on, I don't know, how to not feel like a crazy person, because I literally feel like a crazy person, but I guess that's pregnancy. I feel like that's what most people are going to say. They're going to be like, hormones are crazy. Hormones are crazy. And I'm going to be like the first, not the first, I'm probably like the million, hundredth, billion person to say it. But pregnancy is so hard. It is so hard, and not in just the physical way, but in a mental way as well. Mentally, pregnancy is no joke. No joke. So, I think I'm gonna end the clip here, and I'm probably just gonna end the vlog here too, and just relax for the rest of my day, recuperate, eat, put my feet up, maybe take a nap, just kinda, that's what I just need to do. I just need to kinda. But thank you guys for listening to me complain and ramble, and I just hope and pray that this is not forever. This is only temporary.